Welcome to True Story Channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated with all our new content. Now, let's dive into today's story. Alana Williams, a 22-year-old young woman, was widely known for her bright smile and strong-willed attitude. She had been working at the Lawson mansion for the past 2 years, always keeping a low profile and showing unwavering dedication, as her job was essential for her survival. At home, her mother, Grace, was seriously ill, relying heavily on Alana's care, just as her 2 younger siblings, Malik, who was 15, and Jasmine, who was only 10, did. The work at the mansion was exhausting, but Alana never wavered. She would rise before dawn and often work late into the night, doing everything she could to ensure her family had the basics they needed to get by. Her interactions with her employers were minimal, only speaking with Richard Lawson, the head of the household, on the rare occasion when he addressed her directly. While working, Alana's thoughts often drifted to her mother, whose health was deteriorating by the day. Alana knew that she needed more money to afford the necessary medication, but finding another job wasn't easy. She sighed deeply, feeling the heavy burden of responsibility on her young shoulders. That evening, when Alana returned home to their small, rented apartment in the city's suburbs, she found her mother, Grace, lying on the couch, coughing weakly. "How was work today?" my dear Grace asked, trying to smile despite her obvious pain. "It was fine, Mom. Just another regular day," Alana replied, kneeling beside the couch and gently holding her mother's hand. Moments later, Malik and Jasmine burst into the room, their laughter filling the small space. Alana couldn't help but smile at her siblings, feeling a brief moment of peace in the midst of her chaotic life. "Alana, you've been working so hard. I'm worried about you," Grace said, tenderly brushing her daughter's face with a shaky hand. "Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm taking care of everything. You just focus on getting better," Alana responded, trying to mask her own anxieties. "Did you bring anything yummy from work today?" Jasmine asked, her eyes wide with hope. "I'm sorry, Jasmine, not today," Alana replied with a sad smile. "But I promise we'll do something special this weekend." As night settled in, Alana climbed into bed, exhausted but determined to keep pushing forward. She dreamed of a day when she could find a better-paying job, though she knew life wouldn't be easy. Despite the challenges, she held on to the hope that better days were ahead. The next morning, Alana resumed her routine. She woke up early, had a quick breakfast, dropped her siblings off at school, and headed back to the mansion for another long day of work. She went about her tasks as usual, unaware that something would happen that night that would forever change her life. As her shift came to an end at the Lawson mansion, Alana finished serving dinner, washed the dishes, and was about to leave to catch the last bus home when she heard a cold voice behind her. "Alana, I need to talk to you," Richard Lawson said, his voice sending a shiver down her spine. He was standing in the kitchen doorway with a stern expression on his face. "Yes, Mr. Lawson," Alana replied, feeling a sudden chill of unease. "Come to my office. We need to discuss something," he ordered, already turning to walk down the hall. Alana hesitated for a moment but knew she couldn't refuse. Reluctantly, she followed Richard to his office, where he entered and closed the door behind her. The office was an intimidating space, filled with heavy, imposing furniture that only amplified Richard's dominating presence. He sat behind his large mahogany desk and gestured for Alana to come closer. "What do you need to talk about, Mr. Lawson?" Alana asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "There's something I need from you." "Alana," Richard said, his gaze fixed on her in a way that made her skin crawl. "You've been working well, but there's more you can do to satisfy me." Alana frowned, her confusion quickly turning to alarm. "Sir, I don't understand. I do everything I'm asked." Richard abruptly stood up and walked over to her, his presence becoming even more menacing. "There are different ways to satisfy me, Alana, and you're going to do exactly what I say," he said, his tone leaving no room for misinterpretation. Before she could react, Richard grabbed her roughly. Alana tried to fight back, but he was too strong. Her resistance was futile, and that night Richard violated her. "Please, Mr. Lawson, let me go." "What are you doing?" Alana screamed, desperately trying to break free. "You will do as I say, Alana." "That's an order," Richard responded coldly. ignoring her pleas. When she finally managed to escape, Alana ran out of the office, tears streaming down her face. She left the mansion in a state of shock, her hands trembling as she boarded the bus home. She couldn't even begin to process what had just happened. When she arrived home, she found her mother asleep and her siblings already tucked in bed. Quietly, Alana entered her room, closed the door, and collapsed onto the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. "How could he do this to me? What am I going to do now? I can't tell anyone, no one will believe me." Alana felt a deep sense of desperation and confusion. The days that followed were a blur of fear and pain. She tried her best to keep things normal for her family, but inside, she was completely shattered. Alana continued working at the mansion, doing her best to avoid Richard whenever possible, but the trauma of that dreadful night clung to her like a shadow that wouldn't leave. She knew she had to find a way to move forward. But no clear path was in sight. The only thing she was certain of was that she would protect her family at all costs, even if it meant carrying the burden of her terrible secret alone. As months slowly passed, Alana remained stuck in her routine at the Lawson mansion, but the memory of that horrific night never faded. Then one day, after experiencing constant nausea and realizing her period was late, she decided to take a pregnancy test. With trembling hands, she watched as the test revealed a positive result: Alana was pregnant. Despite her fear and shame, Alana knew she had to tell Richard the truth. Summoning all her courage, she waited for a rainy day when the mood matched her dread. After serving breakfast, she made her way to his office, her heart pounding in her chest. "Mr. Lawson, I need to talk to you." "It's very important," she said, her voice shaky as she stood in front of his desk, waiting for him to acknowledge her. "Alana, I'm busy." "Can this wait?" Richard replied without even looking up from the papers he was engrossed in. "No, sir, it can't wait. I'm pregnant, and you're the father," Alana forced herself to say, each word feeling like a heavy stone being lifted from her heart. Richard finally looked up, his eyes cold and piercing. "Are you accusing me of being the father of your child? How dare you?" he snapped, his voice laced with anger. "It's the truth, sir. I don't know what to do." "I thought you should know," Alana said, tears welling up in her eyes. "This is ridiculous. Are you trying to blackmail me? I'll make sure you never work in this town again. Get out of my house." Now Richard shouted, standing up with such fury that Alana instinctively took a step back. Richard, without any mercy, threw Alana out of the mansion, allowing her to take only a small suitcase with her clothes. Jobless and with nowhere to go, Alana wandered the streets of Atlanta, desperately seeking shelter. The news of her pregnancy was a heavy blow to her mother, Grace, whose health was rapidly declining. "What are we going to do, my daughter? How will we survive?" Grace asked, her worry evident in her weak voice. "I'll find a way, Mom. I promise I won't let you go without," Alana reassured her, holding her mother's frail hands with determination. But finding a new job proved to be nearly impossible. Richard's influence seemed to reach every corner of the city. Every time Alana tried to secure employment, she was met with vague excuses and rejection. "I'm sorry, Miss Williams, but we don't have any openings at the moment," a restaurant manager said, avoiding eye contact. "But I saw the ad on the door. Please, I really need this job," Alana pleaded. "I'm sorry, but the position has been filled," the manager replied curtly before quickly closing the door. Desperate, Alana turned to charity organizations for support, but the resources were limited. Without a steady income, she could no longer afford the rent for the small apartment where her family lived. Bold and dangerous nights on the streets became their new reality, but Alana refused to give up. Everything she did was for her unborn child and her family. One night, as Alana and her mother sat in a temporary shelter with Malik and Jasmine by their side, Grace held her daughter's hand tightly. "You're so strong, Alana. I know we will get through this," Grace said, her voice weak but filled with hope. "I won't give up, Mom. I'll find a way to get us out of this situation," Alana replied, tears in her eyes. Alana's life was a constant struggle, but she knew she had to keep fighting. Each day was a battle, but she held on to the hope that one day justice would prevail. Despite not knowing how, she was determined to secure a better future for her child. As the months went by, Alana's pregnancy progressed, and so did her determination. She knew the only way to ensure a better life for her child was to prove that Richard Lawson was the father. Driven by this resolve, she sought out lawyers who might help her, but Richard's influence seemed to be everywhere. Eventually, she found a small law firm in a less affluent neighborhood, where Marcus Hayes, a lawyer known for taking on tough cases, agreed to hear her out. "Mr. Hayes, I need your help. I'm pregnant, and the father of my child is Richard Lawson. He abused me, and now he refuses to acknowledge the paternity," Alana explained, her voice trembling with emotion. "I understand, Alana. This is a very serious matter. We'll need evidence to move forward. Do you have any proof?" Witnesses, Marcus asked, concern etched on his face. "I have nothing but my word. He's a powerful man, and he's paid everyone off to stay silent. But I'm willing to fight," Alana replied, her resolve unshaken. "We'll start with a paternity test. If we can get a court order, he won't be able to refuse. Be prepared for a tough battle, but we won't give up," Marcus said, offering her a glimmer of hope. The legal battle that followed was long and exhausting. Richard used every ounce of his power and influence to delay the process. Friends and acquaintances who might have testified on Alana's behalf were either bought off or intimidated, and many doors were slammed shut in her face. Despite all the obstacles, Alana attended every hearing, never losing faith in justice or her child's future. "Mom, I'm trying everything, but it seems impossible. He has so much power," Alana confided to her mother, who was now very weak. "You've done so much, my daughter. Your strength gives me hope. No matter what happens, know that I'm proud of you," Grace replied with a weak but proud smile. As time passed and her pregnancy advanced, Alana began to lose hope of winning the legal battle. Resources were dwindling, and Richard's influence seemed insurmountable. One afternoon, after another frustrating court hearing, Marcus sat down with Alana for a serious conversation. "Alana, we're running out of options. Richard is using every trick in the book to avoid the paternity test. Without concrete evidence, the court might rule in his favor," Marcus said, his frustration evident. "So that's it? I'm going to lose this battle? My child will grow up without his father's recognition," Alana asked, tears filling her eyes. "I'm not giving up on you, Alana, but we need to be realistic. Prepare yourself for the possibility that we might not get the justice you deserve," Marcus replied with deep regret. Exhausted and emotionally drained, Alana made the difficult decision to abandon the legal fight. She needed to focus on surviving and ensuring some level of security for her soon-to-be-born child. Even without Richard's acknowledgement, she knew she would give her all to raise her child with love and dignity. The following months were extremely tough, but eventually, Alana gave birth to a beautiful baby boy she named Lucas. Life on the streets was harsh, but Lucas's presence gave her the strength to keep fighting. She knew she would find a way to provide a better future for him. "Lucas, my love, you are the light of my life. I promise I'll do everything to give you a better life. We'll get through this together," Alana whispered as she cradled her newborn son in her arms. Alana knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to raise her son despite all the difficulties. She would never give up on him. 5 years passed since Lucas's birth, and life had been incredibly hard for Alana and her family. But her determination never wavered. Living in shelters, relying on charity, and the support of a few friends, Alana did everything possible to provide for her son. Lucas, now 5 years old, was a bright and loving child who brought immense joy to Alana's life. One hot summer afternoon, while Alana and Lucas were playing in a local park, she received an unexpected phone call. It was Marcus Hayes, the lawyer who had tried to help her years ago. "Alana, it's Marcus. I need to talk to you. It's about Richard Lawson," Marcus said, his voice serious. "What happened?" Alana asked, feeling a sudden chill down her spine. "Richard is very ill. He doesn't have much time left and wants to speak with you. He wants to ask for forgiveness and acknowledge Lucas as his son," Marcus explained. Alana was silent for a moment, trying to process the information. "He wants to see us? I don't know if I can do that. What if it's just another one of his manipulations, she asked, doubt filling her heart. I understand your hesitation, Alana, but maybe this is a chance to get justice for Lucas. Think about it, Marcus said, trying to offer encouragement. That night, Alana stayed awake, reflecting on Marcus's proposal. By morning, she decided that for the sake of her son, she needed to face Richard one last time. Alana realized that all the hardships she had endured had not been in vain. With the inheritance left by Richard Lawson, she was finally able to provide her son, Lucas, with the life he deserved. Their lives transformed dramatically. They moved into a modest yet comfortable apartment in a safe neighborhood. Alana's first priority was to ensure Lucas received a quality education and to find new opportunities to rebuild her life. Determined to create a stable future for herself and Lucas, Alana enrolled in a vocational course in business administration. Meanwhile, Lucas began elementary school at a reputable institution. As she dropped him off on his first day, Lucas asked, "Mommy, will you be okay while I'm at school today?" "Yes, my love. And you? Are you going to make lots of friends?" Alana replied with a reassuring smile. "I'll try, Mommy. I want to tell them all about our new house," Lucas said, his excitement bubbling over. As the months passed, Alana gradually started feeling more secure and confident in their new surroundings. However, the transition wasn't without its challenges. Despite the financial stability brought by Richard's inheritance, Alana still had to navigate the stigma of her past and the responsibilities that came with being a single mother. One day, after finishing a class, Alana met up with Marcus Hayes, who had become more than just her lawyer. He was now a close friend and mentor. They sat down together at a local cafe to discuss her progress. "Alana, I'm really impressed with how much you've accomplished in such a short time. How are you feeling about everything?" Marcus asked, genuinely interested in her well-being. "I'm feeling good, Marcus, but there are still tough days. Sometimes I wonder if I can keep it all together," Alana admitted, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "Alana, you're one of the strongest people I've ever met. Remember, you're not alone in this. We're all here to support you," Marcus said with an encouraging smile. As time went on, Alana began participating in support groups for women who had endured similar experiences. She found comfort and strength in the shared stories of others and began opening up about her own journey. Her story inspired many women to fight for their own justice and dignity. "I thought I'd never get over what happened to me," one woman tearfully confessed during a meeting. "But hearing your story, Alana, gives me hope." "Never stop believing in yourself," Alana replied, holding the woman's hand. "We are stronger than we think, and together we can overcome anything." Alana also took on a part-time job at a nonprofit organization that supported women and children in vulnerable situations. This work gave her a profound sense of purpose, and she felt she was finally giving back to the community that had helped her through her darkest days. At home, life was also stabilizing. Grace, although still frail, was receiving proper care and enjoyed the peace of mind that came with knowing her daughter and grandson were safe. Malik and Jasmine were thriving in their new schools, adjusting well to their new life. "Mom, look at how happy the kids are. I never imagined we'd be here a few years ago," Alana said, sitting next to Grace on the balcony of their new apartment. "You've changed our lives, Alana. Your courage and determination are truly remarkable." "I'm so proud of you," Grace responded, her smile full of love and admiration. Despite all the hardships she had faced, Alana knew she had overcome the greatest obstacles in her life. The journey had been long and filled with pain, but she had emerged stronger than ever. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Leave your comments below and share your thoughts. Until next time, stay tuned for more compelling stories.